What's up, guys? This is Ricky from Team Project Attraction, and I'm here with Wade Alters. Wade, say what's up.
How's it going?
You guys might
Thanks
remember.
for having me.
Absolutely, man. You guys might actually remember his beautiful face from RSD, and now he's on his own doing lifestyle development. He's been doing 10 years of coaching guys and been in 40 countries. So without further ado, let's kind of just jump into this, and maybe you can kind of start telling everyone a little bit about your experience with helping success with women, helping men achieve that. And then also, two, the bigger point of this interview is how to build an attractive lifestyle. Like a lifestyle that you like being in, that's on your terms, and you get to do what you want to do.
For sure. Yeah, I guess to start, it all happened when I was about 24. And I had a weird situation where my parents were high school sweethearts, and they met when they were 14. And so, as we all do following our parents' footsteps, I was 15, 16 years old and thought I found my wife. And so I was with her for 8 years and really just completely oblivious to what dating was. I didn't even know that people were like hooking up and stuff like that, like literally just so naive to the whole thing.
Yeah.
But then when that ended and I'm out of college and kind of shit out of luck going, how am I going to meet women and make this happen other than like social circle or something like that? That's when I found out about the whole Success with Women industry, and that was my first foray into self-development overall. And I think, like everyone, you go into it and you're just like, give me the fixes, give me the opener. And this is kind of as the game was out for a few years, so it's kind of slowly fading away from like just, completely scripted sort of style. And what, really came to be, discovered was that to really be an attractive man, you have to have everything else. So the inner game side of things,
what were some
the
of the
lifestyle.
things that they were using? What were some of like the techniques or something when you first started out, and how have you seen it like kind of transfer over into more being a core man?
Yeah, so for me it was about 2007,
Okay.
and that was I think the game came out in 2003 or 4. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure, but it had been out for a few years already.
Yeah.
And so luckily by the time I got in, that was the first thing I read. And so you go out and you test those things a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
But for me, it was kind of going on the forums and seeing what everyone else was doing. And it was still, I would say, the opener was still a little bit scripted. And maybe like each transition point, like what you said to get the number or what you did to go for the makeout, some of those things or like for the pull or something like that.
Okay.
But by then already, when it came down to just like, what do I say after I run out of things to say?
Right.
It's becoming more valuing your own opinion over the girls, or how to raise your own self-esteem so she's not put up on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Or building core confidence and things like that.
Yeah.
Those were definitely things already at that stage. Guys were like, okay, this is going to need to be more important than memorizing a bunch of routines and things like that.
Yeah, and you actually coached guys like in 40 countries, right? With Success with Women. So, what were some of the major problems you noticed with men that you were coaching with trying to get them unstuck in their Success with Women?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure at some point we can get into the full the process I use nowadays for kind of getting unstuck.
Yeah.
Which is definitely way more refined than it was then. At the time when I was just getting started, a lot of what it was is like continually focusing on the approach, because the approach itself it's very mechanical. Like it's 99% mechanical, and if you do it enough times, it really doesn't matter how you feel inside. It's infinitely better if you are in a social mood and you are confident and believe you're deserving of the girl and feel entitled and all that.
Yeah.
But really it is like, good tonality, good eye contact, just your positioning, and going up to one girl instead of kind of diluting your value and knowing what you're trying to convey. It doesn't really matter how you feel. And so you can kind of like, it's not even like fake it till you make it. It's literally like going to the gym and you just do the same, like doing free throws enough that literally like when it's, this is actually a great analogy. Like it's, the championship free throw, you just shot so many of them, like there's no extra added pressure,
Yeah, it almost becomes like social.
And even as, what was that?
It almost starts becoming like social muscle memory to a certain extent.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then like even for guys as they got more advanced, a lot of times what I noticed is we went back to the approach. because the better you start off the interaction, the easier everything else becomes. You know, and so the thing is, to kind of answer your question, is that I feel that most guys wish that they could be a woman where the girl would approach them.
Right.
Or, you know, or they're waiting for permission, or they're looking for the girl that's easy or that's going to work.
Yeah.
Instead of what's more important is how to have consistency and really convey the right things from the start.
Yeah. And I think it's like, guys get stuck. They either think they don't want to do any work and hang back, or they like do everything. That's where they become almost like the entertainment guy, where it's like, you know, just go up and say hi and say a little joke and just, you know, get the lawnmower started, you know, referring to the conversation, and it's going to start flowing. You know, it's going to start clicking. You'll get the rhythm of it. Okay.
Totally.
So the main meat of this that I want to talk about is the, you know, building an attractive lifestyle. And this kind of goes into, you know, you just released the 10 steps of getting unstuck. And I watched the first video and I thought it was awesome. I really liked it. And it kind of clicked on a lot of points even I was resonating with. I mean, because with you and your lifestyle development, you help guys with dating, but you also help guys like break dancers, and you can maybe go into a little bit of the type of people you've helped. I mean, you've even helped me and with Project Attraction. So maybe you can kind of go into a little bit about the attractive lifestyle and then building these 10 steps to kind of help your clients and whatnot.
Yeah, for me, I guess one of the biggest things when I was transitioning, or what kind of inspired me to transition out of just teaching dating advice, was I dove in deeper than anyone, or as much as anyone could,
right,
to where I was going out 6 nights a week for years and years and years because I taught it and I wanted to keep my momentum up. And I'd be in some random city like Tokyo or, you know, Budapest, and it's like, well, I'm here, I might as well go out and meet local women and things like that. And so that led to really good social flow, social momentum, social skills, but my health was completely shit. My finances were shit because I'm going out and drinking every night, you know, just traveling that lifestyle, not really having friends because I'm working every weekend and on the road, not really in contact with my family. And so I was confused because I had this dream of what I thought success really was. And it was because I had really initiated all this through like wanting to get my dating life handled, and then realizing that kind of getting to the level of success where even the people I looked up to are like, oh my God, you're the best in the world, or shit, which who knows what the fuck that even means, right? But it's like, I thought I had reached the pinnacle and yet I'm still not satisfied.
Yeah.
And what I realized is you have to have all the areas of your life. For me, fulfillment is when you're growing in every area. Happiness is when you're in alignment with all areas. And so I totally agree that, you know, the more happy and fulfilled you are, the more attractive you're going to be.
Right.
You know, the more you live in your path and have integrity to what you want, the more people are going to come on board.
It's kind of like what you said too, when you're more aligned,
all those things combined,
that you become like game becomes easier, right? Like when everything in your life is handled, it's like you don't have to worry so much about what to say because you just feel good, and whatever you say just kind of comes out smoothly.
Totally, yeah. I mean, you're totally, it's congruent, right? And so that's, you know, and kind of the whole David Data, Way the Superior Man, it's like you're on your path instead of just being the social to do whatever the girl thinks is, or whatever you think the girl thinks is attractive.
Right. Okay. So what are some of the major things that you've seen with guys you've helped kind of build their lifestyle? What are some of the things that make them the roadblocks they hit? Like, how do they become stuck? You know, there's a lot of guys out there, myself included, that are like, all right, let's build this attractive lifestyle, but then, you know, you hit roadblocks. So what are the most common ones you see guys on their journey face?
I would say number one for sure is a concept, I'm sure you've heard me talk about this, the whole immersion versus maintenance, to where the mistake I made when I was a dating coach was I immersed so hard into dating that I let everything else kind of fall by the wayside.
Right.
And people get overwhelmed when they're like, well, how am I supposed to do it all? There's just not enough time in the day.
Yeah.
And so instead of immersion and neglect, immersion into one thing, but maintenance mode, everything else. And so what the difference is you're proactively scheduling these other things. So right now I'm doing a big product launch, and I'm like, okay, after the launch is over, I'm taking a trip with my girlfriend. Because I told her before, I'm like, this launch, I'm not going to be able to spend a lot of time with you. And so we have the trip planned. And that way, right now, I can kind of neglect that or put it into maintenance mode and not feel guilty or shameful about it because I know I have something proactively scheduled.
Right.
And so I think when you look at it more on a larger scale, like you look every couple quarters and you see how things are evolving. And as long as you're scheduling things, as long as it's on the schedule, it's not neglecting it. And so that really removes a lot of the guilt associated with it and a lot of just letting things fall off worse than they should be. I guess tracking it alone is a big part of it. And then finally, I'll say is that like every quarter you want to look at, okay, which one is grade all 8 to 10 sort of areas of your life on a scale and be like, okay, which one has to go into the top 3 now that was too neglected. I think 2 to 3 you can really focus on well. Any more than that, it's hard to do. But every 3 to 4 months, it's going to change. Either you break up with a girlfriend, or your health goes to shit, or like you have a big win or a big loss in the business, and so you can kind of move them around. So I think that's the other thing I would say.
So a major thing you're saying is like strategizing everything out in your life and kind of organizing it more.
Yeah, I would say like with structure comes freedom. And so the more, people think that structure is like rigid and disciplined, but really when you create that structure, it allows you more free time and to do things and not feel guilty about fully immersing into something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, is like you can have fun and not have to like second guess yourself. Like, do I need to be doing something else? You're fully immersed. And yeah. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because otherwise you're in the gray zone and you're working, but you feel guilty because you're not with your friends.
Right.
And then when you're with your friends, you're guilty because you're not working.
Dude,
then it's
a clusterfuck, and I've dealt with that too. And I think one of the things that actually really helped me recently was in your what's the video series you have? It's not the Syndicate, or is it the Syndicate, the membership program?
Yeah, probably one of the videos.
Your stress, I think it was like the stress model or something like that, was fucking fantastic, especially for guys that hustle, because one thing is like you hear it just pounded into you like hustle, go, 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 but you kind of realize after doing it for a while that everyone's hustle is different and you need to be doing different things at different times. So like you said, that's where the structure and kind of planning everything out really helps so you don't burn yourself out, because that's a big problem for myself and friends of mine, just burning yourself out and then you just feel like shit.
Totally.
Yeah, okay. So you have a product launch. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, like I said, I appreciate us chatting a bit with the Unstuck, especially because it's something that it came really from working with clients, and so I have a full roster. It's called the Chosen 20, and so I work with people on the long term. But the consistent thing I see when people come to me usually is they say, "I know what I need to do, I just can't get myself to do it." And I've seen that the theme throughout of I want to approach this girl, I might even know what to say to her, but something internally is holding me back. And the same thing in business. I know what I need to do, but I'm afraid to quit my job, and I'm afraid to reach out to that client and do a cold call. And so, or like, I remember for myself, like I knew going to the gym was an important thing to do. I knew what exactly to do. I've been lifting my whole life, but I'd be in a foreign country and it was just that weird subconscious thing deep down that says like, well, what if I go in the women's locker room because it's written in Ukrainian or Estonian and I don't read it in the awkward situation. And so the subconscious things just hold us back, And so with the whole, the 10 steps to getting unstuck training, it's a free training. Just go to weightalters.com. You can check it out. And on there, it basically goes through the 10 steps that it takes from, working through the subconscious and getting to where you do take action. And I think the premise behind the whole thing is that most self-development, it just focuses on the tactics. And it's like that's where people have a problem, is because it's like it doesn't matter if you have the perfect pickup line, or it doesn't matter if you have the right sales script if subconsciously you're afraid to take the risk. So you have to clear out all the mental clutter first and then baby step your way up to it, basically. Yeah,
that's one thing I've noticed, and I think a lot of people are starting to realize it, and that's kind of probably what inspired your baseline product too, and I think a lot of people have been doing that, is the subconscious and how powerful it is. And even myself, I've noticed, like I try to commit like 1 hour a day kind of studying the subconscious, because it is, like you said, you'll know what you need to do, but then you're like, why am I not doing it? And then you feel like shit. And so you realize there's all these like low-level behaviors or thought loops that are going on that have been going on for a while, either past or whatever that you need to kind of like deal with and whatnot. And then it makes, once you iron that out, it makes taking action pretty easy. So
yeah, it's amazing how much of our behaviors are subconscious, are habitual. There's a study, I think it was University of Berkeley, and they said that over 40% of what we do every day is habitual. Yeah. And so 40% might not seem like a lot, but that's a lot, because that means literally half of almost everything you do every day, like the way I grab this cup or how I look at the time, you're not consciously aware of how you do it. And so what you're trying to do is when you're bringing on new behaviors, you're fighting all those old habits, and you're trying to let the conscious mind, like will the conscious mind to do something, and then the subconscious, it's just like this, battle going on. Yeah. And so the thing is it doesn't need to be. It really can be. You can harness the power of your subconscious mind, and it's incredibly powerful when you're able to do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So just to wrap this up, is there 3 steps you can share with our audience of how to get unstuck? Maybe something from your video series or whatnot that they can start doing today.
For sure. Step 1, I would say small chunk, baby chunk it. I think people get overwhelmed because it looks like such a huge thing. Great example, like going to the gym. It's like, same thing, like I said, I did all the studies, I had been really good in the gym, and it was easy when I had momentum because you're seeing the growth and you're seeing yourself getting stronger. But then when you don't have that, when you don't have the momentum, just go there and do some bullshit bicep curls, or just get there and do one thing, and then be like, okay, if this is it, that's it. I forgot what the book is, but they're like, just floss one tooth. You say, I'm just going to floss one. Because once you floss one, you're like, shit.
Yeah.
I already got the floss out, let me do some more. So small chunking, I think it's one of the biggest parts of this. And then baby stepping with it. Another one is like, I said, like I said, there's 10 of them I can kind of go through here. I think one big one is the pattern interrupt. And so if you know that half of what you do is habitual, learn how to outgrow those patterns. And so I use that language very precisely in that you can't get rid of a habit, but you can choose a different response, and you can have that become the new sort of automated habit. Yeah. And so, Tony Robbins talks about it's pretty classic pattern interrupt. Find ways of like catching yourself with the pattern, and then learn how to, create a better response. And then I guess the other big one I would say, if we want to just go some brute force, I guess, with that, I would say, don't beat yourself up. It's not about you. It's just the habits. Right. And so people identify with their habits way too much. So that's kind of, I guess, a bonus one. But then the other one is I call it stacking on the success, and really brute force cranking up the motivation, adding reframes for the reasons why you want it, how bad you want it, and also how shitty your life would be if you don't make a change. Yeah. And if 2, 3, 5, 10 of those isn't enough, create a list of 100 reasons why this is important to you. And at some point, you do really stack the deck of cards of motivation in your favor. So even when that fear is there, you push on through. Because I guess that's the final thing I'll say is like, the fear doesn't go away. It's just your ability to embrace the fear and, thrive off of it. And so I think people too often try to make it easier, or they try to remove the fear. And instead it's like, why do people skydive? Because it's like, oh my God, it's scary. Or, dudes get addicted to approaching for the same reason, because it's that like adrenaline rush. You're like, holy shit, I'm going in to do this. And so it can become a fun thing when you get it from the right perspective.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you, Wade. We appreciate your time. And I'll post a link to, you said the 10 steps are on their website. They can get it?
Yeah, just head over to wadealtus.com there. And then, I guess same thing, Wade Altus Show on the podcast and YouTube as well. That's all my jazz.
Awesome, Wade. Well, we look forward to watching that. And I think I need to watch a video too. Is that already out?
Video too, yeah. It came out last night.
Awesome. So all right. Thank you, Wade. We'll see you next time.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
This little piggy got a house made of bricks. Hand over hand over hand over fist. This little piggy got a house made of bricks.